Hello there, automotive technicians. Nice to see you today. I saw you this morning, and thank you very much for participating in our class. And I've divided you into three different groups, as you remember it. And these are groups that are going to do small group presentations. It's going to be your choice of what you do. My assignment is that you will pick a nonprofit organization that you all are connected with, or one of you is connected with, or somebody has an idea, and so you need to talk a little bit more with each other and find out what are your interests, what do you like to do, what are your commitments. Do one of you have a disease, or do you have a mother or father, sister or brother that has a disease such as breast cancer and or diabetes or something like that? Or do you really like soccer? I heard soccer mentioned today, and there's obviously a soccer league, American Soccer League, that gives money to nonprofit organizations. And we can talk more about the small group presentation. But what I want you to do for today, which is actually tomorrow, on Thursday, is to get together in your small groups and talk about what it is that you think that you want to accomplish in this small group presentation. It will be 15 to 20 minutes. If you will go online and you will go into our syllabus, into our class, you'll see assignments. And there's one there that's called small group presentation that kind of explains what a small group is all about. And that will be a heads up and a one-up that you will be ahead of me when I come back to class next week, and we can discuss it a little bit more. But I would like you to think about what organization you'd like to choose, and you tell me about that organization next week. The presentation today was good. It was on culture, which was chapter 2. And thank you for the discussion that we had on the differences that we have around the world. And of course, in our class, we are having Hispanic, and we have an Asian and a white American culture. And I've learned a lot from you all today. And I was glad to be able to probe some of the ideas and of how you all might live that's different or maybe the same of your culture. Anyway, welcome to America. I would like to talk to you a little bit about your nonprofit organizational speech. It's an informative speech, and if you will look on the syllabus, it will tell you what the informative speech is going to be about. But let me just tell you a little bit more about it. We've talked already, but it's a 5 to 7 minute speech on a nonprofit that you're going to pick that is different than anybody else's nonprofit, and it's different than the small group nonprofit. What you will do is to, again, do exactly what you're doing with the small group presentation in choosing a topic. Are you involved in one of the 5 categories of nonprofits? You know that the most popular is religion. Number 2 is education. Number 3 is health. Number 4 is social services. Number 5 are the arts, and then number 6 is ecology, or our climate changes, and Save the Whales, and or the Wildlife Foundation, or forests or parks, or whatever it is that has to do with the planet. So you will pick a nonprofit organization that you individually have a connection with. Number 2 is you will prepare a 5 to 7 minute presentation using a Prezi. And because you've seen a Prezi and you know how they work, I want the Prezi to connect with you. What I have enjoyed about your Prezi so far, especially the last one today, was that there wasn't a lot of words. There were a lot of pictures, though. And we got to see the world today on that map. We got to see various countries that you all are from. We got to experience some pictures of what the atmosphere around that particular city or country looks like. And that's what I want you to do in a Prezi with your individual presentation as well. You will also hand me an outline. The outline I showed you already last week, what it would look like. Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3. So this is kind of a repetitive, just a little bit, but I have realized in communication that you need to talk about it and tell about it so that everybody's on the same page in case while I was talking you were thinking about your girlfriend or something else, or that I thought I told you, but maybe I didn't, since I teach 6 classes every week, and I have over 100 students or 120 students, and so therefore I kind of get mixed up sometimes about what I've told one class as opposed to what I've told another class. So anyway, what I'd like you to do in today is to think about what that nonprofit is going to be, because in 2 weeks we'll be starting the nonprofit organizations. Those of you who are in group 1 will actually present your individual nonprofit organizational speeches on the first week. The second week, we will have the next 2 groups prepare and present. It might take 3 weeks to do that. I will just see how it goes the first week. Since there are only 5 to 7 minutes, we ought to be able to do all of you in the same week, or maybe 2 weeks, not 3. So be prepared, and it's actually on your assignment calendar. And I don't know that you have an assignment calendar, but I think you do. If you don't, you will have before the end of the week, and you can check it and make sure that we're on target about what we're doing. Okay, you will dress up. I mentioned that before. You'll wear a tie. I've mentioned that before. You will be in the middle of the center of the room. You will have the screen to look at. You will do eye contact. You need to practice your speeches. Everything you do, you like your elevator speech, you need to practice them. Enjoyed the elevator speech today that we had, 2 of them that we did. I thought you did really well on both of those. And each week we'll take a couple more and keep practicing our elevator speeches. You know how important they are. Okay, the small group presentation. That's what you're going to talk about now. It's exactly the same as informative speech, except that it's with a group of people, and there's 4 of you in each group. You will elect a chairman or a director or a captain, and you will tell me next week who your captain is of your group, and then I will connect with that specific person in the development of your nonprofit speech. It will probably be in the classroom where we'll do this. There's all kinds of possibilities. You think about how you would like to explain, and how you would like to entertain, and how you would like to inform and or persuade our audience about your nonprofit that you all are doing together. If you're going to talk about horses, why don't you bring a horse in? We can all go outside and see the horse. If you want to talk about cars in some way or another, you've obviously got a place where we can come out and see a car. You know what? I think the Lamborghini Association, speaking of Peter Lamborghini, the Lamborghini Association is a nonprofit organization for the enjoyment of Lamborghinis. And I think all cars probably have a nonprofit foundation that they give money to help other people. The Ford Foundation, what do they do? I don't know exactly, but you can find that out. The Toyota Association, what do they do? I think they do some amazing things as well. And so, however, if one group picks Lamborghinis, and that means nobody else can pick Lamborghinis. And I'm just using that as an example. It came off the top of my head because for some reason or another that word Lamborghini, it keeps coming out every week in my thought processes. Actually, I did an ad in my magazine, Philanthropy, about the Lamborghinis for a couple of times, hoping to get them in as a full-time advertiser. I did not. Their foundation is in St. Louis. So if you're interested in Lamborghinis, call the Google Lamborghini organization and ask them what they do for nonprofit organizational work. Research. Get online. Get on Google. Get on the phone. Call these people. Just like I did in getting together this event that's happening for Haiti. You know, I just know the country's name, and I got online and I called and I talked and I told my story, and that's what you're going to do. And you're going to say, when you call the organizations, you're going to say, hello, my name is Roberto, and I am from Dallas, and I am in automotive technician school to be a master technician. And we are in a speech class, and I have picked your organization as one to talk about, and I need some information, please. So here's the story, and here's what I want. And they will send it to you, and they will provide you anything, because I've asked, after all, it's a marketing opportunity for them. And so they're definitely going to want to work with you and do whatever you say that you want to do. Okay, so hopefully the small group presentation is clear about what that's going to be. You are going to speak together, and then you're going to speak separately. Together means you're going to do a skit, or you're going to do a video, or you're going to take pictures outside of the classroom of the organization of where you go. Now, if the Lamborghini Association is in St. Louis, you're not going to St. Louis, but you could go down to the Lamborghini show house, and see the Lamborghinis and get your picture taken in the Lamborghini. And you know what? They may even let you drive one. So this would be really cool if each of you did a different car as associations. And I don't know what they are, but that's where you come in and you have to do the research about it. Okay, also we talked about next week. Next week is talking about yourself. The self-assessment. What is your self-esteem? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about who you are as a person? I've asked you to write down 5 skills or things about you that you love, that you think are good about who you are as a person, that you excel in. And then think about 5 things that you don't like about yourself, that are what we call weaknesses. And we're going to get rid of those. We're not going to focus on those. And it's not that they're not important aspects about your life, but maybe it's something that you don't particularly like about who you are. For instance, I'm not great in mathematics. I mentioned that to you today. And I didn't do well in mathematics in school. Did you know that when I went to college to become a teacher, I didn't even have to take math? And that's one of the reasons that I became a teacher, was so because I didn't have to take math unless I was going to be an elementary school teacher and teach math. And so I've just not been a great person at math. But on the other hand, I have to keep my own bank account. I'm not great at doing that. Thank goodness for technology now. All I have to do is open up in my little cell phone here, and all I have to do is put in my bank account, and guess what? I'll find out how much money I have. And speaking of cell phones, where's my cell phone? There it is. It's in my pocket. But I can put in Bank of America, put my number in. It tells me how much money I have, and it keeps me finding out if I can go out and buy something new. But anyway, I'm going to write that down. Mathematics. I don't like mathematics, but what I can do is hire an accountant to take care of that. And so I can burn that piece of paper that has the word math on it. I don't have to worry about that anymore, because you know what? I found out a long time ago, and I've accepted that about myself, that it's not something I want to do. Let's say that you don't like children. And you have children. Well, you got to figure that one out. You got to figure out if that's not your strength, then how are you going to have children and not like children? I think it's going to be a problem. So therefore, you're going to have to either find somebody who does in your family. You're going to have to hire a nanny to take care of the child. You're going to have to marry somebody that's actually going to take care of this child as well. But there's some people who don't do well with children or don't have a child. So maybe that's exactly what you are feeling is your weakness, and that's what you're going to do in order to not have to put up with children. There's a third thing that maybe you don't like about yourself, or a fourth or a fifth. Maybe you're always late. Maybe you're always late. So you either accept and embrace yourself that you're always going to be late. You tell people, I'm always going to be 5 or 10 minutes late, or you change. But that's something that you either want to get rid of, being late, and you want to start being on time, or whatever. We're going to burn that word, being late. But, you know, the Hispanic population is mañana, 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 and you just expect that that's what's going to happen. Then the Nepali people, they're late. That is a cultural thing, but maybe you're going to change that. I don't know what that's going to be about you. But anyway, you need to figure that out. And that's 5 things that you love about yourself and 5 things that you're not crazy about. So that's what I want you to prepare for next week as well. And when we talk about the self and self-assessment, next week's going to be fun. Read the chapter for sure. And like I told you all, you might have a pop test about it, or a pop quiz, and that'll be fun too. So anyway, thank you for today. I enjoyed it. I like your presentation on culture, and I appreciate the discussions. March the 9th, remember, we're going to go to Haiti at the Dallas Museum of Biblical Art. Thank you. Bye-bye.